I want to just point something out to you. I know this is staged, not just because of all the anomalies. That just confirms it. I was suspicious immediately. So suspicious the day before I did a 3-hour radio program saying, mark my words. It's posted on the same channel below me. Just go watch Thursday's radio show. The day before this happened. I said, mark my words, I can see all the pre-programming and the brainwashing. Are you hearing me? That they are preparing to rebrand the war on terror, now that they've dominated the entire Middle East basically, from we've got to take all your rights and spy on you and take your freedoms and have no bid contracts for trillions of dollars in the aggregate because the Muslims want to kill you and they're hiding under every table. Might be one here right now going to get me. They want to rebrand that and move it over to everybody's a terrorist. Nobody is trustworthy. And the right-wing extremists who don't want the foreign banks fully bankrupting Europe, England, and the United States, the right-wing extremists that don't want the carbon taxes, the right-wing extremists that don't want the open borders and UN, Agenda 21 globalism, they are hiding under every table.
I want to say this again, and I'm going to your calls. They are priming everybody for domestic soft terror attacks all over the country. And they're going to hop up, drug-head white people, blacks, Muslims, you name it, claim they're linked up together. In some cases, they'll have contractors kill people. They'll shoot a patsy in the head, like Harris and Kleinbold, and say that's what happened. They're getting ready. You wonder how the government's going to get its banking raping through, how it's going to get its police state through, how they're going to get the 9% approval rating for Congress up. Look at all the Democratic operatives that have written memos to Obama saying you need a 9/11 or Oklahoma City. That will help you.
On the broadcast tonight, deadly attacks, a bomb in a downtown building, a gunman on a rampage at a youth camp. There are dead and wounded tonight in 2 attacks that have stunned a place known for peace. Who is responsible?
I'm telling you, they're getting ready, and they're getting ready to unleash white al-Qaeda. It'll be as phony as a $3 bill, but they don't care.
We also know that he was linked to a Freemason society and that he did have a license to carry weapons and that he expressed Christian fundamentalist, anti-Muslim and nationalist views on websites. A Norwegian newspaper quoted a friend of his as saying that he turned to right-wing extremism in his 20s.
The man who's been charged with the attacks has been named locally as 32-year-old Anders Breivik, who has contacts with right-wing groups. His motives for such a devastating attack have baffled those who've studied right-wing extremists in Norway.
How much of a shock is it to people in Norway that this was an attack carried out by one of their own?
It's a huge shock. I think we all thought that right-wing extremism was something that was largely under control. We had glimpses of it back in the 1980s. The last action was against a mosque in Oslo in 1988, where nobody were seriously injured and nobody were killed. And the main attention, of course, in recent years has been against international Islamist extremism, not against homebred right-wing extremism.
So they're getting ready, okay? They're getting ready to stage terror attacks and blame it on the American people. No, they're getting ready. We are the terrorist, okay? I mean, in all the internal manuals, it is the veterans, the gun owners.
Anders Breivik is 32 years old. He's described as being tall and blonde, and he's been linked to the Freemason Society and is said to have held a license to carry a rifle, shotgun and Glock pistol. Breivik expressed Christian fundamentalist, anti-Muslim and nationalistic views on websites. A Norwegian newspaper quotes his friend as saying that he turned to right-wing extremism in his late 20s.
The Associated Press tonight quotes a Norwegian police official speaking on condition of anonymity because his department has not yet released their conclusions, who says, quote, "It seems like that this is not linked to any international terrorist organizations at all," and he compares the event not to 9/11, but to the Oklahoma City bombing.
I told you this would come when the total collapse of Europe began. Next, they'll move to the United States and England. And right as the banks seize the pension funds, go after the private pension funds, right as they slash benefits but increase taxes, the terror attacks will be staged so that you are distracted by that and rally around the government in fear.